and welcome to ET Energy World. I am Sudhir and we are today talking to Dr. Ranjit Rath, the CMD of Oil India Limited. Very warm welcome to you on our platform, Mr. Rath. Let me begin this conversation by trying to ask you, there's a kind of energy transition that is going on around the world, around the globe, across countries and in India also. Now I want to understand from you, in what ways is Oil India gearing up for that kind of transition? Where do you see Oil India plays in that transition?
Thank you very much, Sudhir, having me here. Wonderful filling in IEW 2024, much better richness in content, much better diversified discussion portfolio. Regarding energy transition, it's inevitable. But what is more important to understand is this is economic specific, this is geography specific, and every country, given the diversification of its availability of energy, of its hunger for energy, of its demographic requirement for energy, the transition is different. It cannot be unique. It cannot be one size fit for all. So from an Indian context, we see that this energy transition will be actual transition. It will happen over a period of time, say 2 decades to 3 decades. So the conventional hydrocarbon or conventional fossil fuel will still be the mainstay, while the alternative energy, be the renewables, be the other various modes of new energy, would evolve over a period of time. And in between, the bridge fuel will be natural gas. So this is the narrative on which Oil India is also working. For us, we have a net zero target of 2040. So we have already started working on creating a portfolio of renewables. As we speak, we have about 188 megawatt of renewable portfolio already. Another 25 megawatt, we have already have a JV in Assam. So while we are pursuing our core theme of operation Mission 4 Plus to have an enhanced production augmented with discovery through exploration, we are looking at green hydrogen, we are looking at green ammonia, we are looking at solar, wind, and as part of the net zero initiative, another interesting thing that is panning out is for us, net zero or decarbonization is part of our operational requirement. Means whatever flaring for natural gas we were constrained to do earlier, we have taken a step to arrest those and convert them into gas monetization. So for it is part of operation. Second is the beautiful thing that is evolving called carbon sequestration. So we have looking at both utilization of CO2 for the purpose of enhanced oil recovery, and since as an E&P company we understand the subsurface, we are also doing a lot of study to create the possibility of CO2 sink in either depleted fields or abandoned wells to create carbon sequestration opportunity. So on a broader term, we are preparing ourselves with a thrust on exploration and production and concurrently creating a portfolio of alternatives.
Okay. That's very nice, Mr. Rath. Talking about energy transition, you have talked about some really important and interesting things like sequestration, for example, or flaring. The one thing that I want to understand from you is, recently there's been a lot of talk about offshore wind, right? And globally it's believed that, oil and gas players are, particularly people in the E&P space, they are more well placed to, capture the kind of opportunity that exists within offshore. Has Oil India given some thought to it? Where do you see India placed? As a country, where do you see us placed when it comes to being able to capture the potential of offshore wind? And in future, what, in your view, do you think there is a possibility that Oil India would want to look at that as an option? What would it require? Very broadly, if you can, give us a thought.
See, energy in any form for India is important, and offshore wind will play a major role. Now, offshore wind, we could harness in two ways. One is utilizing the existing, not so active or to be abandoned platforms which is there in the offshore. That's one piece. In addition to that, as the situation improves, the cost economics improves, the economy of scale would play out, we could create monopods and create offshore wind structures. The challenge that would come in is where to design, where is the aesthetics as far as the coast is concerned, how do we evacuate those energy that is generated, how do you tackle the intimacy, and how do you tackle the storage piece. So while we have lot of offshore structures in our west coast and in east coast, to me this is a very new and augmented research or pilot scale that is going to happen. From an Oil India perspective, since we do not have much of an offshore presence till now, so first we will establish ourselves by virtue of our OALP blocks, which is there in offshore, to utilize it for our conventional hydrocarbon, and then look at offshore wind maybe at a later date.
So talking about India Energy Week, and we are sitting in India Energy Week, I want to understand from you, first of all, two things. So first of all, in what way is this IEW different or better than what it was last year? And secondly, this is coming at a time when there's a lot of changes happening within the energy basket and the larger energy sector in India. How do you see the deliberations here playing a role, in terms of adding to the larger conversation or debates about energy?
If you look at IEW's theme, growth, collaboration and transition, so all the three things are actually panning out and we are getting benefited out of it. From a scale point of view, from the content point of view, from the participation point of view, IEW 2, I would call it, is much evolved than IEW 1. It's very natural. We started it, that was the first edition. From an Oil India point of view, what we did in IEW 1 are a lot of follow-up happening here, number one. Number two, by virtue of the visibility. Today we have a growth strategy plan, a road ahead for 2030, 2040. So we are actually discussing with possible partners in terms of the growth strategy for Oil India and possible partners who would provide services to Oil India. When we plan for our growth story, we would require significant contribution or participation from our vendors. So we call them as partners in our growth story, because unless they participate, you don't get the services. So when we want a higher level of exploration or production efforts, we need more seismics to be done, we need more studies to be done, we need more deeper drilling to be done, we need more workover rigs to come on shore, we need more offshore rigs available for our offshore explorations. So this is a time we get to reach out and we create connect for our growth. And collaboration basis the bilateral discussions or the round tables that we attend, we get lot of connect. And those connects translate into possible collaboration. It is more about getting the technology or the offshore players of the world helping Oil India Limited to venture into offshore operations or to venture into deeper exploration. And as far as transition is concerned, given the fact that it is inevitable and we have already created a basket of portfolio in terms of alternative energy, be it green ammonia, be it green hydrogen, be it CCUS, lot of traction happens. And lot of companies who participate in this, they all discuss with us for possible engagement. And in fact, I must inform you that tomorrow and day after, we are having a dedicated workshop on carbon sequestration as part of IEW. So that's the level of engagement which is happening in IEW 2. And we are very grateful to Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Government of India to create this platform for the three nice themes: growth, collaboration and transition.
Okay. So my final question to you, if you can explain, what are the top 2 or 3 ways in which we can broadly, significantly ramp up our, production of crude oil and natural gas. I'm asking this because, so there's a belief that large part of our acreages are aging, and they are on the declining kind of.
I will answer you in 2 stages.
And you're a geologist, right?
I'm a geologist. I'll answer you in 2 stages. First, yes, you are right. The fields which were discovered in early 70s, early 80s and 90s, yes, there is a decline. But thanks to the reservoir management strategy that we adopt, we are still producing from it. In fact, the first discovery post-independence is Nahar Katia 1953, Moran 1956. Those places we are still producing. Further, we are also doing extensive work in terms of near surface exploration, and we are going more deeper horizons. Earlier we were producing from 2000 to 3000 meters. Today we are producing from 4000 to 5000 meters, and as we speak we are going more deeper to 6000 meters. This is as part of the exploration and production of the aging field. Thanks to the reforms of Government of India, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, now more areas have been unlocked in the exclusive economic zone of the country. So both East Coast and West Coast, and in Andaman Nicobar Basin, by virtue of unlocking the earlier no-go zone, we are today having 1 million square kilometer of area available for exploration. Very recently, the OLP 9 round has been launched, and all the deep, ultra-deep offshore acreages are now available for exploration. So we are looking forward to a more engaging, enhanced exploration campaign in the country.
Sir, isn't it a fact that a large part of this EOR, enhanced oil recovery methods, there's a cost attached, right? So how do you, in a country like ours where there's a lot of sensitivity around prices and cost, particularly in public sector projects, there's a lot of scrutiny. How do you manage that cost escalation? That
It's like this. You have baskets of fields. In some fields, the oil flows on its own. Fantastic oil, very high API, and you don't need to do anything. With simple workover you produce. In some fields, you get very, very thick oil, heavy oil, which is not likely to move. So there you do enhanced oil recovery. So when you see in totality, it pans out very well. It's not that in all the wells that we are doing EOR, number one, but I must tell you one success story of Oil India Limited since we are discussing. Currently we are doing one of its best kind of EOR, which is called cyclic steam stimulation. In our Rajasthan fields in Jaisalmer basin, they have got very heavy oil sitting at 1000 meter plus depth. So we are injecting steam, pure steam, 99.99%, 360 degrees centigrade. The steam is injected to the formation for about 14 to 21 days. The entire formation is soaked, and after you switch off the steam, the oil, which is very, very thick, starts flowing. So you do EOR, you do IOR, and you do plain workover. So overall mix, it pans out very well.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for those great answers. I think it was great talking to you, and we really look forward to welcoming you again on this platform.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you.